Hello, everyone, and welcome to Bourbon Bites, whiskey reviews with a gaming twist. I'm Clifton, and today we have a very, very special guest joining us just here in a bit. We are welcoming Brandon Hunt from Bourbon Charity. We're going to talk about a few different things coming up, especially a raffle auction, not auction, but a raffle fundraiser they are doing coming up called Roses for Kids. So we're going to bring him on in just a second, but I do want to give a few shout outs before we get going. Shout out to our mods who are here in the chat. I saw y'all chatting earlier. Y'all, man, this is like the most y'all have talked before we even went live. Okay, so shout out to our mods, Brandon, of course, my buddy Brandon. We're going to do a stream here together real soon. Donnie the Linux Cat. Did I see Emily Chambers yet? Maybe not. No, I saw her in another chat. I'm getting confused, but welcome to them. I also want to give a couple of shout outs. Oh, there's the Bourbon Wrench. Trev Wilson, of course. Trev, let me know if you're not a mod under this account. I don't know if you changed accounts or not, but let me know. I will give you an official wrench on my channel. Also, I want to do a few patron shout outs. Welcome to several patrons I see here in the room. We see, oh, there's Emily Chambers. I saw you. Several patrons here in the room. We have, all right, Adriana Rodriguez, good to see you. We have This Is My Bourbon Podcast, who was live earlier tonight. If y'all missed his live stream, go check out the replay. I was also on his podcast this past week. So if you guys missed that, it was a really fun episode, especially if you're a patron of This Is My Bourbon Podcast. Give that last call a listen because we got into some really, really heavy stuff, but it was a ton of fun. So good to see you here, Perry. I almost called you Brandon. I see Brandon chatting so much in the chat. We saw Lil joining us all the way from Australia. Lil, I know you have to go to work, but good to see you. Don Nishida. Awesome. Sugar Kitty, of course. I don't know if I gave you a shout out already, but welcome, Sugar Kitty. James Taylor, also a patron here of the show. So good to see y'all here on this Thursday night. So I do want to say that we are doing our after party hangout as usual following this stream. For everyone that is a patron at $10 and up, we always do these on Thursday nights. Just hang out, drink some whiskey, and just chat. It's always a fun time. So if you're considering becoming a patron, you can do that at patreon.com/bourbonbites. Patrons also got a sneak preview at tomorrow's video. I did a review of a 24-year-old single cask nation Kentucky bourbon. So if you want a little sneak peek at that, you can join for as little as $2 a month. And as Zophar said, hey everyone. James Taylor says, hit that like button. Yes, y'all joining me just now. 32 people already. Holy crap, y'all are awesome. Hit that like button. It really does help out the channel here. But yeah, so like I said, single cask nation review coming out tomorrow. But if you're a patron, you get it early. So with that being said, with all that out of the way, I did the official stuff out of the way. Please join me in welcoming our guest, Brandon Hunt from Bourbon Charity. Welcome, Brandon.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much for having me. Glad to be here.
Yeah, I'm so glad to have you. I've heard so much about Bourbon Charity, and I'm so excited to finally, meet the guy behind it. And you guys have some really, really cool stuff. First of all, where are you based?
We're out of Arizona, but I like to say we're nation worldwide. I mean, our organization, we have supporters that have donated from Australia to New York to here in Arizona. So we're all over the place.
That's awesome. So I'm in Southern California. So that's the reason I was like, wow, he's willing to work with my 7 o'clock time, because every time I talk with people in Kentucky for these streams, they're like, that's like 10 o'clock our time. That's way too late for us. We can't make it. So I have to take time off work and everything. So
yeah, no, this is perfect for me. I got, wife and kids, and the kids are on the home stretch before they go to bed. So no, this is perfect.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for joining. We do have our first super chat here tonight. Holy crap. Eric Waite says, get a haircut, you hippie. I assume he's talking to me. I just got a haircut. I haven't been able to get a haircut in forever because they've all been closed. So I had I had to do a full
you cut your own hair. You cut your own
didn't.
Hair? No. You actually?
No. I went to my barber. He was set up like speakeasy style. Like he had to come in the back door, knock twice. Not really knock twice, but I guess they're officially not supposed to be open yet. So, but we'll appreciate that, Eric Waite. But I mean, Eric, wait, you don't have much hair to speak for. So, but cheers, Eric. Thank you so much for that. Cool. Well, I guess before we get started, one question I always like to ask people. My channel is kind of a blend of whiskey and gaming. So do you want to ask, do you have any games that you've been playing, or maybe something you grew up playing? Any favorites in your life?
So totally. Like I would say I'm a gamer. I'm not like a big gamer, but I'm a gamer. Sure. Like I've played video games my whole life, Atari on Ford. So recently my wife for Christmas got me the Oculus, and I have been obsessed with Top Golf, the putt aspect of the Top Golf game. And so like I am like dialed down to like, if I don't get eagle on a putt, like I am like playing the hole over again. So that's my
awesome.
go-to right now. I don't know. What about you? Have you played the Oculus? Any putt?
So I have the original Oculus Rift that came out like 3 or 4 years ago, honestly. So it's pretty like low tech compared to what you're working on now. But
way different.
Yeah, I get motion sick really easily, so that kind of messes with me a bit. But other than that, it's so cool. But I can't play it for more than 5 minutes at a time, honestly.
Yeah, well, check out a little putt action if you ever want to. You know, you want to go around of 9 or 18 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm totally about it. Like, it's fun, just and it's so realistic. Your putt motion and everything. So if you I think upgrading to the newer version of the Oculus is, I'm like you. I used to have the old version back in the day when it first came out. The newer version is a totally different animal. It's worth the upgrade.
Oh yeah, for sure. I got to get in on that. I thought about buying it over Christmas because I had time off. I was like, do I need that? No, but now maybe you've just convinced me to get it. So, well, very, very cool. So I guess,
you know, it's that one game that you're like, oh, I'm gonna play the heck out of that game. It's definitely worth it.
That's awesome. Well, I guess before we get into Bourbon Charity and I guess how you got that started, let's get something in our glass. So so the theme for tonight is Wild Turkey. There are a few other things that I'm going to bring out, but Wild Turkey is the sponsor of your event that's coming up. It's actually happening now, right? You guys launched it a couple days ago.
Yeah, we just launched it on Monday or Tuesday this week, so just a few days ago.
Awesome. And we'll talk about that for sure. And lots of detail here tonight. But I'm just going to start with Wild Turkey 101. So this is an old bottle. This is a 2010 Wild Turkey 101. Big shout out to Brandon, who is here in the chat. He gave me this bottle. Really appreciate it. I love trying older Wild Turkey releases. Figured that was a pretty good one to start with here tonight. So what are you drinking on tonight?
I got the rare breed, the Wild Turkey rare breed. And this is one of my go-to. It's barrel proof. It's approachable. It's flavorful, like it's everything you'd want in a bourbon. And we're so happy to have Wild Turkey sponsor us, of course. And I'm just so happens that I'm a Wild Turkey fan, so this worked out well for us.
Big Wild Turkey fan here. I'm out of my rare breed, as you can tell. I'm a fan, but I did have the rare breed rye, so I'm going to pour that a bit here in a bit. So one quick shout out to Mr. Whiskey Shits with our next super chat here. Cheers, Mr. Whiskey Shits. So good to see you here on these streams, and everyone else in the chat. Let me know what you guys are drinking, like keeping up with what y'all have in your glass. Hopefully you have some Wild Turkey. Surely you guys have Wild Turkey. I mean, if y'all follow the channel, y'all got Wild Turkey. So pour some turkey and enjoy the conversation. So go ahead and tell us about, how you got started. Like what inspired Bourbon Charity?
Yeah, so it happened a couple of years ago. We're not even 2 years old as an organization. My dad was diagnosed with prostate cancer, and it was supposed to be a routine surgery, take out his prostate, good as new, but it turned into just a complete nightmare for my family. 30 days.
Wow.
My dad's and kicked his butt. Left him like do something. So hopefully other people, I was mid 30s, that their dads are hopefully going to outlive them. And I didn't know that, at the time for me. And so I was a big bourbon guy. I had a bourbon collection, and I had just sold one of my businesses and converted it to a little whiskey section in between this ping pong area we had. So I played ping pong one day, and this is really how it came about. I was like, you know what? Like,
I think I lost you.
That love bourbon, and
did anyone else lose him? Oh wait,
back.
Sorry, I keep losing you. I'm sure if anyone in the chat is losing you too.
Well, are you guys want to do the two, combine the two of the bourbon 501c and like, I wonder how much money I can raise with my bourbon collection, and end up raising like less than 90 days, $75,000. I'm like, what? There's a ton of people like me out there. There's a lot of people that love giving back, and bourbon, if like it hits that I get bourbon while giving back, it's kind of a win-win. So just kind of doubled down on that. And like in the last like 2 years, we're at $1 million raised. We're over 8,000 donors. We're funded 4 water projects in Africa with Charity Water. We've done helped a community kitchen with Food Bank Louisville. We've done a teen center for the Boys and Girls Club. I mean, there's just so much stuff that we've been able to accomplish in the last year and a half that's just amazing. And that's kind of how it all started. Is like, I got to do something here a little bit better than just writing a check to support prostate cancer research. And it just turned into everyone joining on board. Is like, okay, let's run with this idea.
That's awesome. You were breaking up a bit there, so not sure if everyone caught that. They did say that in the chat, so they were having some issues. I'm not sure if like you're on Wi-Fi or something that could be adjusted. If not, you're fine now. So it just like cut out for a good like 20 seconds there.
Sorry about that.
No, you're fine. I just want to see if maybe it's something you could adjust on your end that could fix it. If not, we can just roll with it. But just in case. Cool. Well, tell us about the Roses for Kids. I mean, how did that get started? Is this the first? You guys obviously probably done that before, right?
Yeah, so we did it last year, and last year was a little different just because before we launched the Roses for Kids fundraiser, we had the Australian bushfires that broke out. I don't know if you recall this in 2000. And was that 20? Yeah, very beginning of 2020, the Australian bushfires broke out, and we're like, well, shoot, we have this scheduled fundraiser, but like Australia needs us right now. Like the koalas need us, the firefighters over there need us. So we just did a little pop-up fundraiser there to support the firefighters, Wildlife Victoria there with koalas and kangaroos, and we ended up raising like 35 grand. We did this fundraiser, Roses for Kids, raised another 35. So we raised like, $75,000, $80,000 last year around this time. And so we're looking to build on that momentum, hopefully raise anywhere north of $100,000, $125,000 to support 5 amazing kids-based charities that really need us. And we've been collaborating with some of these nonprofits like Children's Tumor Foundation, for example. We sponsor their whole winter and summer boot camp they have for their kids there. So we're providing the blankets and some of the materials for them to host these virtual events with Phoenix Children's Hospital. With this event, we're actually putting in, this is really cool. Anyone that's ever been to the hospital will appreciate this. It's like the little kiosk system that's like in the entry waiting area, so that you can play like Scrabble, you can play like different kids games, you can play card games. Like, so now they're putting all these kiosks in for these kids hospitals in different areas, so the parents, the children, they have something to do while they're waiting. And so that's some of the money that if you're donating this year to our Roses for Kids fundraiser, that's the impact that money is going to have this year.
That's awesome. I was going to share my screen just to show the website real quick. Let me get that pulled up because I'll show off the organizations you guys are sponsoring. So Wild Turkey is the sponsor this year. How did that relationship come to be?
Well, we're always putting out feelers to different distilleries. We're looking to expand kind of our organization, and Wild Turkey has been a very generous organization. And when they heard what we're trying to do for these different children's organizations, they were all about being on board, helping support us with different bottles and in-kind donations, where it just made sense that they believed in what we're doing in this community and wanted to be a part of it.
That's awesome. I mean, I think it's really great that these big brands are willing to get behind such a cause. I mean, I think I don't see enough giving in the bourbon. I see giving in the bourbon world in terms of sharing bottles, but I really love finding these niche causes. I mean, there was someone in the whiskey, he's actually in the whiskey Instagram community, not really my specialty, but we raised money for his cancer fund, and they raised so much money. It's just when people come together in the whiskey community, it's fantastic. So I love seeing more of it. It's basically what I'm saying. So this is such a cool cause to me, and I really love what you guys are doing with it.
Oh, exactly. And that's the beauty of it. Like, this organization's taken on, a being of its own. Like, now, like, the people that donate to the charity, they vote on the causes and the organizations that we're donating to. It's not me. It's not the board of directors making a decision on who these grants are going to that we're raising this money for. It's people that donate to the charity that support us, that they're saying, okay, hey, I donate to you. I give, 100 or 200 bucks a year to you guys. Like, I would like to see this going to this children's hospital or this military nonprofit or whatnot. So it's really cool seeing it take a life of its own, and the community coming together saying, this is what we're doing, and this is who we're supporting.
For sure. So I did want to say, so for those of you that are interested in donating, I put a link in the chat over there and then in the description down below. If you use the link, it's a referral link. So you will get 100 tickets if you donate using the link, in addition to whatever you get from the amount you donate. So just a way for you guys to give back if you're curious and you want to win some of these amazing prizes, which we're about to talk about in a bit. Y'all got some awesome prizes this year. So if y'all are considering donating, definitely check out the links below. You'll get 100 extra entries into the raffle, which is pretty cool. So, well, yeah, let's talk prizes. So not only do you have some awesome bottles, you guys have some like gaming consoles. So perfect fit for the channel here. Yeah. So I'll share my screen again just so we can show off some of these awesome bottles. So first of all, how did you come across these bottles? First of all, is what I want to know, because you got some really cool stuff here.
Yeah. I wish I told you I had Julian Van Winkle on my speed dial, or, the head of Buffalo Trace, that I could just be like, hey, we need a couple Pappies and a OFC or whatever here and there. Unfortunately, we don't have Pappy Van Winkle or Julian Van Winkle on our speed dial, but we do have a bunch of good retailers that like to work with us, because we're a nonprofit. Even though they know they can get secondary pricing for these bottles, they do give us decent deals. But yeah, we're like anyone else. We don't have these special hookups. We don't have this or that. We pay too much, in which we want to like try to fix. Hopefully we'll have those relationships where we're making more donations to the nonprofits that we support than having to pay 10 times for a Pappy. But we're getting there.
Yeah, I was just slowly scrolling down the list of like the different bottles. I mean, like you said, y'all got some really awesome stuff. Not only do you, which I think these higher ones unlock at different amounts that you guys raise, correct? Like the Pappy 15, Pappy 20, and Michter's 20. Oh man, that Michter's 20 to win that. Holy crap.
Well, here's like a little secret. They're going to unlock no matter how much we raise. So it's just a little something we put up there just to see what happened. I don't even know. Our legal is like, I don't think you can do that. We're like, we're going to give it away anyway. They're like, okay, you can do that. So we're like,
it makes sense. I see why. I mean, So for those of you that are curious, if you're watching this live or you're watching the replay, first of all, hashtag replay squad in the comments down below. I see y'all. I love y'all. So this entries are available. They're open now. So you can donate today. Available until February 14th, hence the name Roses for Kids with Valentine's Day. End of day, February 14th is the last chance to put a donation and a chance to win these prizes. And then you guys are drawing it the following week, right? The 19th? Yeah.
Correct, on a Friday. So it gives you ample time. I don't know about anyone else, but for me, like Valentine's Day, like I don't need anything, maybe a little hug and kiss from my loved ones. But other than that, like, if I know I'm spending $10 and I might have the chance to win a Michter's 20 or a Pappy 20 or something like that, and I know it's going to support like St. Jude or Texas Children's Hospital, it's definitely a win-win either way, for sure.
That's awesome. I just want to shout out Lava Man just said he donated $60. So awesome. Thank you so much, Lava Man. I'm sure they really appreciate that. So like I said, these are some awesome bottles. So glad to hear that, you guys entering now, you still get a shot at those really rare bottles. But you guys have some good too. So I have a few of these that we're going to be drinking tonight. I did want to go to the rare breed because that's what you were drinking right now. So I have the rare breed rye. So funny enough, rare breed and rare breed rye. So let me pour the rye. I've been really loving this. Have you had a chance to try the rye yet?
I love the rye, and I tell a lot of people this. Like, I'm more of a cocktail drinker than I am actually a neat or on the rocks kind of guy. And this might might be a little like taboo for you.
Yeah. We love cocktails here. We actually had a guest on 2 Saturdays ago, and she made a bunch of really cool cocktails. So no, totally appreciate a cocktail here.
So you give me an old fashioned, and like so earlier tonight I made actually an old fashioned with that wild turkey rare breed rye, and so I like a rye more in my old fashioned cocktail, and like that's kind of my go to. Like I enjoy that old fashioned before dinner or something like that, because I think it's just so there's so many different options you can do with it, and so many different experiments you can do with finishes and bitters and stuff. So I don't know. That's my go-to. I don't know about you.
Yeah, no, I mean, I love a good cocktail. I actually, I'm pretty 50-50, like whether just neat pours or cocktails. I know a lot of people that do this, like they're strictly, no, must drink it neat, no ice, nothing like that. I'm very open-minded. I mean, my channel is called Bourbon Bites, but I do Scotch sometimes. I do Irish whiskey. So I just love variety. And I think that's one of my favorite things that I do with this channel is it's not just strictly one thing, Steve Frosty says a Kentucky hug and kiss on Valentine's Day is fine for me. So are you from Arizona or are you from somewhere else?
No, I'm from Kentuckiana originally. So Kentuckiana is at Indiana. So Kentuckiana originally, went to Indiana University and just picked a spot at the map. And after college, moved out to Arizona and just kind of made that happen. And definitely have the bourbon roots there from Kentuckiana, and just like I love bourbon, and like I said, I just had an opportunity to see if people were out there that wanted to raise money with bourbon and join me on this journey, and it's been incredible.
That's awesome. We have a lot of folks here in the chat, and also just maybe watching the replay that are from that same area. We have a lot of friends in Fort Wayne, Indiana area.
Oh, yeah.
So lots of people in that community. So lots of people donating. Brandon says he just donated. Hey, the odds be ever in your favor. Yeah, I mean, I haven't sent my donation yet, but I will be following this stream. But I want to talk a bit about it first. So yeah, that's really cool. So do you guys typically, in non-COVID times, do you guys do physical like events, like fundraisers like that?
So this is the interesting thing about our organization. Like we started like basically when COVID started, really. We've kind of grown more on the online, more digital, like online fundraising route, which has really helped our growth and been great for us. But we haven't had any kind of in-person events, which actually you think about from a nonprofit perspective, we're very low overhead, low cost, so we can contribute a lot to the organizations we support. You start getting those in-person events, you have a lot of costs that go into that. So right now we operate at like 92% that we give back to the organizations we support. So it's a huge amount that we are looking to actually get to 100% within the next 4 to 5 months, just because of the way we're structured, and we don't have a lot of those overhead costs and the costs associated with doing a lot of in-person events where you're unfortunately not raising as much for charitable causes as you would hope to.
Sure. Eric, wait, I sorry I missed your comment. He says he donated $50 to the charity and mentioned my channel in the comments. Well, appreciate that, Eric. Also, Eric Wade has an awesome channel. If you guys haven't checked out his channel, definitely go check it out. Appreciate that so much, and I know they appreciate it on their end too. So, well, that's awesome. I mean, I was doing a bit of research on you guys. You guys have like a membership thing that kind of helps offset the cost of that?
So we have Bourbon Hood. So basically when this charity seemed like it was going to be a very viable thing where we could raise a lot of money for a lot of causes and other nonprofits, we're like, well, we need to become a 100% public donation nonprofit charity, meaning that if we take $10 in, we're giving $10 out. If we take $100 in, we're giving $100 out to the causes that we support. And running a nonprofit, it's expensive. You have a lot of licensing, legal fees. You have the audited 990s and financials you have to do. So we looked as like, how is there a way that we can become 100% public donation charity? And so the solution was Bourbon Hood. And so Bourbon Hood is people that donate anywhere from $10 all the way up to $100 a month, knowing that it goes to our overhead and operating expenses. So unfortunately, like I said, we don't have Julian Van Winkle on our speed dial. So we're paying, $2,000 for that bottle of Pappy. So Bourbon Hood members are contributing to that cost. So when we do these big fundraisers where, some of these prizes are costing us anywhere from $10,000 to $15,000, we're raising $100,000. We can give anywhere from 92% to 100% to those organizations that we support, and we're getting there. We're in less than 10 months, we're at 490 people strong here for Bourbon Hood members. So we're getting there, and I'm confident, like, we'll have those conversations with Buffalo Trace and the who's who of, like, hey, can we get that Pappy at retail? Can we get that OFC? I know we'll get there. We're on the right path, but Bourbon Hood is how we're getting there.
Yeah, another donation here, which, I mean, you guys, appreciate y'all donate. Y'all don't have to tell me every time, trust me. I mean, we appreciate it, but appreciate y'all telling me, though. Definitely will give you a shout out on the stream if you donate. So, hey, if that gives you a reason to donate, then you get your comment featured. By the way, check out the Mash Bill's channel. He just launched his YouTube channel, so go check him out. So, in addition to prizes, especially talking about paying a bit more for prizes than retail. Right. I know you guys have some PS5s and Xbox Series X there. So how did this happen? Tell us.
Oh, what? We always want to make everything interesting, make it different for our donor base, for people that support us. Like, how are we not standing still? Like, we're thinking of different ways to give back, not only to the charities we support, whether it's a kiosk in the entry room of when you walk into Phoenix Children's Hospital, but it's like, how do we make Bourbon Hood members? How do we do barrel picks for you guys? How do we do cool things that keep you interested? And people that are giving to our fundraisers, like we love bourbon, we love gaming, right? Like, let's throw in some PS5 and Xbox and Oculus, and we're looking forward to the future where it's like, okay, on our Father's Day fundraiser, let's throw in a Michael Jordan jersey or shoes autographed, or a Kobe jersey, or how can we expand outside of bourbon and grab these other cool special interests into our community and really embrace them and add them into prizes.
Yeah, I mean, it makes a lot of sense. I mean, Roses for Kids, giving back to children's hospitals. Why not offer a chance to have a PS5? I mean, we actually got lucky with our PS5. We weren't planning on pre-ordering it, actually. We were still debating, like, is it worth getting it at this point? We randomly checked it one day, and it was like, pre-order available. I think it was on Walmart or something. And we're like, well, might as well. So we actually got one. Now, I'm almost wondering, like, should we have flipped that for double the profit? But again, I'm not into flipping things like that.
That or Pappy, right? It's like,
yeah.
He's like, what would you pay for? I'm like, it's cheaper than what we had to pay for the Pappy. So
yeah. So in addition to the PS5, they also have the Xbox Series X, like you were talking about, the Oculus Quest 2, which if you guys haven't tried VR, it's so much fun. It's totally worth trying out. Nintendo Switch, NES Classic. Now, you said you grew up on Atari. Did you have like a Nintendo system growing up?
Oh, for sure I did. How about you?
Yeah, so my first console myself was a Super Nintendo. I played so many games. I still, on my channel, I still do a bunch of Super Nintendo games just because I'm so nostalgic about that, from my childhood.
Yeah.
I didn't have Atari, though. I didn't have a Atari or like a Sega Genesis, so I missed out on like.
Oh, wow.
Games. So I was Nintendo all the way until I had like a PS1, and then I had a PS2. So, but I grew up Nintendo only.
Right on. So have you? So you've got the PS5. Have you been playing it?
Honestly, though, there's not that many games for PS5. That's the only thing. I mean, yeah, we've been playing some like PS4 games on it, and we have like 1 or 2 PS5 games. But honestly, I think it makes sense for most people to just wait. If you're going to buy, especially if you're going to pay secondary. Did I just say secondary prices for a PS5? pay secondary prices for PS5. I would say hold off. I'm sure the demand will, decrease and the supply will go up a bit. But I mean, I'm sure there's some awesome games coming soon for it. I've seen some of the trailers, and I'm really excited for the future of it. I think we just adopted a little too early. Which, I mean, you said you had an early edition Oculus too, right? We adopted a little early with that because like VR did not catch on until like recently.
Yes, but you knew like where it was going just to see the tech, and it's fun to see it now compared to where it was and how much has progressed. And you're not tethered to a computer, and like it's fun to see the progress. And I love that, whether it's industry for whether it's the bourbon, and see where we're going with some of the interesting finishes and collaborations that's going on right now, to how the Oculus has progressed in the last 3 or 4 years.
For sure. So Donnie just put a link. So Donnie, actually, if you would copy the link from my description down below, that's the link that'll get people the extra $100 or not $100, 100 tickets to the raffle. So if you want to post that one instead, that's probably the better link, just to give them a little bonus just for being here tonight and celebrating with us. So awesome. Well, dang. What else do you guys do? Like, so in addition to this event, do you have any others that you do year to year?
Yeah, so we do 5 primary fundraisers throughout the year, and then we do different fundraisers, whether it's bingo night, that we'll probably have one here in late February, supporting charity water. We're going to hopefully raise enough money to do a water project there in Ethiopia. We have just random pop-ups, like I said, with Australian bushfires. So we'll probably do 10 to 15 different fundraisers throughout the year. So if you guys want to follow us on social media, at Bourbon Charity on Insta or Facebook, you can just check us out, see what we're doing. You can sign up for Bourbon Hood. That way you're automatically entered into our major fundraisers. So you get automatic ticket entries into those fundraisers for you to participate and join in on us.
Awesome. Yeah. So yeah, definitely give them a follow. He put his link there. I guess I'll pour some more whiskey. I mean, let's go back to our list. Yeah. What are some of your prizes you got going on? Let me pull it up. I just posted the link.
Smoke Wagon or Weller or Stag. I mean,
what do you have? Do you have any of those nearby to pour and drink along with, or stick to the
You tell me. I have a stockpile.
Well, I haven't done Smoke Wagon on the channel in a while. If you want to grab your Smoke Wagon, yeah.
You're with me.
Yeah, you're good. So yeah, Smoke Wagon. Now I actually haven't had this on the channel in a good bit. I had the small batch, which was not the small batch like the. Sorry, I didn't have the small batch. They have like a base level one that's like $24. I've had that on the channel. I did a full review of it. But they also have another small batch that I haven't tried. That one's about 50. This one's about 65, 70-ish. When you see it, now it's gone kind of viral. So you probably don't have much luck finding this, which again, another way to get your hands on a bottle is by entering the Bourbon Charity raffle, which like I said, I put the link there. It's in the description below. It's pinned. So definitely try that link. Just to make sure, I just want to make sure you guys get your bonus entries. And I hate for you to do that, expecting to get them and not get them. So that's why click my link there in the chat, in the description down below, just to make sure you guys get those. So yeah, you got your Smoke Wagon. So you're in Arizona, so you can probably get it pretty easily, kind of like I can for the most part, right?
Definitely, for sure.
Yeah, but I feel like it's gotten harder though. I think it's kind of caught on. People are starting to be like, "Ooh, wait, that's good stuff."
It is. We were part of a joint private pick early on in 2020, and it wasn't a big thing. Like, and actually, surprisingly, it didn't sell out like the first weekend. It sold out. It took 5 days instead of 2 days, which was kind of weird. But yeah, it was Smoke Wagon is a private pick, 12-year MGP, and it's still one of my favorite. Josephine is there was 2 different barrel picks. One was Josephine, was Abigail, and I'm an MGP guy. I love
me too.
And that 12-year, especially if you can get like I like a little higher rye, a little more spice in my MGP, and so Josephine was like my flavor profile. And so, yeah, there's very few of those left. And Smoke Wagon's not like what it used to be. Like a year ago, Smoke Wagon was like, crypto before it was like popular.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, I mean, in Southern California, it just sat on the shelves. Even the barrel select, like the single barrels, and what is the super rare ones now is like the I forgot the name of it, but it's like the there's a special name. It's like silver something. I think someone on the chat will know what I'm talking about. But what's it, a 12-year pick? Holy crap. What did that sell for? Like when you guys had that pick? Like what was the price?
It was like right around $100.
And now just think without, I mean, dang.
Oh, it was going on secondary for like $400+ bucks.
Oh my God. That's awesome. Yeah, so I really would like to try more smoke wagon. I wish I would have had that realization a year ago when I could get it. But yeah, no, the uncut unfiltered, it's not age stated, right? It's like maybe not. I believe this is like only like 5 or 6 years old.
Yeah, I was gonna say it tastes like a 6-year, which is perfectly fine with me. Like I said, like you and I talked about, like we're not bourbon snobs. Like I like a good, just like a good bourbon. Like, and this is solid. Like there's, I don't think it's 6 years, 8 years. I don't know what it says, but it's good.
Yeah, did want to give a shout out to I Whiskey She Wines joining us here in the chat. I Whiskey She Wines is also another YouTube channel. They just restarted their live streams. Definitely go check them out. Sam and Bobby are such awesome people. Love them so much. Brandon, not you, Brandon, other Brandon. Brandon wanted to ask you, have you tried any other older MGP releases like the old Carters?
Love old Carter. Yeah, I do. I love them all. Like just like if you can get me any of the older MGP stuff, like I'm a happy camper.
So. Yeah, so my Brandon, that sounds weird. This Brandon, he is obsessed with old Carter. He like collects them.
Really?
Yeah, he's a huge old Carter fan, which I don't blame him. It's delicious stuff. Awesome. So I did see. Wait, there's someone else I want to give a shout out to. Oh yeah, the Rock Gut Review. So Rock Gut Review does a live stream right before mine. So definitely for those of you that missed his stream, go check it out. He had a really cool discussion about finished whiskeys, like whether those should be considered, bourbons, or they have their own title. Well, Brandon, question for you. What is your opinion on finished whiskeys?
I don't care. Like if they taste good, that's all that matters to me. So like it's not for me to decide. Like I just decide if I like it or not, and I like it. So if they want to call it bourbon or finished bourbon, like I don't care.
Yeah. Well, it was a really interesting conversation because a lot of people were talking about like awards, like best whiskey of so and so. Do you include finished whiskeys? Which is an interesting topic because it's debatable. So Ed from the Rock Gut Review, you and I should talk about that sometime in the future. Sorry I couldn't make your stream tonight. But yeah, if y'all missed that, go check that out. Cool. Well, I'm loving this. I'm just enjoying this uncut unfiltered. It's really good. So do you ever do picks for Bourbon Charity?
Yeah. So we did.
Was that with Bourbon Charity?
Yeah. So we did 8 or 9 picks last year, where $15 from every bottle that we sold went to the nonprofit that we were supporting. So I'm going to say probably around $20,000 or $30,000 from our picks last year went to whatever nonprofits we were supporting. And that's through the Bourbon Hood. So if you join Bourbon Hood, you'll get first dibs on those picks. We have online distribution through Mash and Grape, which I think they distribute to like 30 or 40 states. So we're able to get pretty good distribution to people that want our picks, want to participate in our picks as well.
That's awesome. Well, Mashbill just said he joined the Bourbon Hood just now. So you got a new member for the Bourbon Hood. That's awesome, Mashbill. Yes. That sounds like a really awesome. I need to check that out after this stream. That sounds really, really cool.
Awesome.
So what kind of picks do you guys do? Like you just said the Smoke Wagon. Other distilleries that you guys, have done picks for?
Yeah, so we've done a lot of barrel picks. We've done, we have a, let's see, we have a Buffalo Trace coming out. We've had Iron Root. We have a Mary, I want to say Mary Jane, but it's not Mary Jane. What's the name of the Mary Window Jane?
Oh, Widow Jane.
Yes. Widow Jane. Yes, we have a pick of Widow Jane coming out here pretty soon. Starlight Distillery, we've done stuff on site with them. Just a lot of different organizations that want to drink for a change with us, and we're just looking at, hey, if we can bake in $15 for charity for each bottle that's sold, it makes taking a sip even better when like 50 cents, $1 every sip you take go to charity. So it's a fun thing.
So you said that the people in the Bourbon Hood get first access to those bottles, or do you work with like store partners? How does that work?
Yeah, so Bourbon Hood is first access to being able to not only pick it with us. So we ask the distillers, like, if they're sending samples, like, we need 2 or 3 extra samples to send to Bourbon Hood members that we, auction off at random, be able to participate, and yeah, they're able to purchase the bottles from our online retailer, Mash and Grape, or if they're local here in Arizona, they can purchase from a store here. But yeah, first dibs on being able to get access to some of these barrel picks.
That's awesome. Well, that gives me more incentive to sign up. I love that you guys are doing that. I think it makes a lot of sense because, like you said, you want to get to the point where you guys are giving 100% of money raised to the charities, which I think that's, that should be everyone's goal. Honestly, you should give 100% to the causes. So the way that you guys have structured that to like make that happen is really, really, inspiring, honestly.
And we've got to find a way to give back to our people that give us 10, 15, $20 a month towards our goal. And it's like, how do we do that? Well, okay, let's do barrel picks for you guys. Let's do like opportunities to only drink with the master distiller and have them talk about a new product. So we're looking at a lot of different ways to add value to Bourbon Hood members, just to give back to you guys for giving us the money that we need to operate as a charity. And so it doesn't stop with the barrel picks. It's like, what other value can we bring to you guys that you're bringing to us?
Absolutely. Well, I was just going back to your list of what you guys have for auction. So I kind of skimmed over this earlier. I shouldn't have, but Weller Foolproof and George T. Stagg, both very hot, heavily sought after Buffalo Trace products, in addition to the Pappy. We talked about the Pappy, but you can't forget these two. I guess for the next one I'm going to pour, I do have a Weller Foolproof. This is a store pick of it. Do you have a bottle of this?
Oh, wow. I don't, but I will enjoy watching you enjoy it.
Well, I wanted to check because I mean, you said you were into bourbon before all this. So I guess, how did you get into that? How did you start collecting, and how many bottles do you have? Or do you want to know? Do you not want to know how many bottles you have?
No, I'm actually not as bad as most of you people are. So I don't feel as bad. I have more of the very collector's items bourbon, I guess. Like I have Pappy from the 1970s and stuff like that. The real old stuff where I'm more of I would look at an investor saying, okay, what's this going to be worth, 25 years from now versus, the stuff right now that I have that's, the current Pappy or any of the current stuff is like, I'm going to donate my stuff to the charity long term, even if it's the Pappy from 1974 and stuff. Like, it's eventually all going to go to the charity, whether it goes now or later. But I have a lot of stuff, and I don't drink the good stuff. I mean, I do drink the good stuff. Like this, to me, is the good stuff. I don't need a Pappy 20 or anything crazy like that to make me feel good about my whiskey drinking. So I'll just stick to the Wild Turkey rare breed, and we can raise $100,000 plus with the Pappy stuff. That's fine with me.
Yeah, no, I'm 100% with you. About 90% of the stuff I own is all just like 60 and less. That's literally the majority of what I drink. Brandon was asking which pick of Weller this is. This is the SoCal Wine and Spirits. Yes, I have two. Again, not trying to brag, but they hit Southern California pretty hard. Did you guys see in Arizona? Did you guys see a surge of the Weller Foolproof?
We did, yeah. So luckily, this is one of the opportunities. We had a good retailer here in Phoenix, and they did a barrel pick, and they were like, "Hey, we'll let the charity buy 4 of them." And they were $200 a piece, but more than what they probably should have been. But hey, that's way better than what we can get them anywhere else. So it was a win for us. It was great for the retailer. It was a great pick. So win all the way around.
Yeah. Well, so I was saying that my review that I'm posting tomorrow, which I mentioned that patrons got early access to, I bought the new Single Cask Nation 24-year-old pre-fire bourbon, which was the most expensive bottle I've ever bought. So that tells you something again.
Like $400, $500? How much?
No, it was $295.
$295. Yeah.
So I'm cheap. I buy cheap stuff. So, but when I saw that it was a 24-year-old pre-fire, which interpret that how you will. They don't say what the distillery is, but definitely watch my video tomorrow for those of you that are curious. There's some hints as to what that distillery is. I just knew that it was such a cool story and such a cool bottle. I knew I'd never get my hands on it again. I was like, I'll splurge a bit. I mean, because that was almost double the most I've ever paid for a bottle. So I don't envy the people that are buying like expensive scotches, because I know Scotch is way more expensive in general.
Yeah.
But I've never actually thought about it from your viewpoint. So you buy, like you said, 1970s Pappy, which is freaking awesome. So you think of it, you do it more of as an investment, not necessarily, you know, even if it's
what do you think about it? No, I'm an investor. Like I invest in, you know, real estate, stock, you know, cryptocurrency, fine, you know, art, bourbon. Like it's all a play on scarcity. I mean, I you know, just getting on business. Like I think, you know, inflation will set in, asset appreciation will creep in, and I think a lot of these bottles from, you know, that are they're not making anymore will be worth a lot down the road. I think you look at Japanese whiskey, you've seen the prices, some of that fetches. If I'm a betting person, I'm going to go with the blue chip. I'm going to go with the Pappy and bourbon, and I think it's going to be worth, you know, quite a bit down the road. You know, and it's not what's it worth in, you know, 3-4 years. It's what's it worth in, you know, 30-40 years.
Yeah, it's already got that age on it. So, well, since you're speaking of stocks and stuff, what's your thoughts on everything going on with GameStop and all that? Any thoughts on that?
I did try to get in GameStop. Robinhood shut me out.
Oh no, you were one of the people. Oh, no, you were affected by that.
Yeah, no, it's all good. I'm not a trader. I'm a long-term investor, so I buy and hold. You know, I love seeing the power going into the little guy over Wall Street. I love seeing this this ability to combat some of the short strategy that Wall Street's been able to do and be able to dictate, you know, profit making. So now, you know, seeing some of the power in the little guy's hand, you know, Mike Tyson's child. You want a little, you know, Joe guy to like punch him out. Like I'm all about the little guy. So yeah, I love it, and big supporter of the little guy.
That's awesome. So I dabbled. So I do like investing just like in the long term, like you said, like more like, you know, mutual fund kind of things. But like I tried to get in on cryptocurrency back when Bitcoin was having its surge. What was it, like a year or two ago?
Yeah, like 2 years ago, probably.
Yeah, and I didn't buy it at the height. Okay, I wasn't that bad, but I still bought it when it was going up. I was like, oh, I got to get in on this. And then, of course, as soon as it went up, it immediately just went.
Don't tell me it's cool, though.
Yeah, I lost like $1,500, which again, I was just investing fun money. It wasn't. I knew I was willing to lose it, and that's kind of what it was about. So once I learned from my lesson there, I'm like, you know what? I saw the GameStop thing going up. I was like, nope, not doing that again. so I skipped that. I skipped that one. But
wait, if you held on to that Bitcoin, it'd be worth way more now. So,
and not just that, but I had it was Ethereum.
Yeah, for sure.
And you know what? I got so annoyed and stressed out with watching that I literally sold it. I didn't sell it low. That one I didn't. I only lost like $200. But it was
like,
back. It was like flatlining, and I was like, yeah, I'm tired of the stress. It's causing me way too much stress. So I sold it. But then I see like now it just surged. I'm like, damn it! I'm like, I should have just held it. I should have held it.
So actually, we've talked about that as a charity, because I'm always like, how do we get interest in what we're doing, you know, from a fundraiser perspective? And so this was like, let's throw in the, you know, the PS5, let's throw in the Oculus, let's throw in all these gaming units. So it's like, you know, what if we threw in, like, you could win a half Bitcoin or quarter Bitcoin or, you know, 100 Ethereum or like crypto? Like, does crypto play into this like narrative of like hot and cool and different, and the chance to win is, I don't know. We've been kicking it around, and I don't know the right answer if it's right for the charity or not. But the thought is just like, you know, how can we raise as much money as possible? That's like the end goal. And it's like, does having a theme, gaming or crypto or sports memorabilia, help us achieve that? I don't know.
I mean, it's an interesting thought process. Well, apparently Dogecoin is up to 4 pennies. Last time I saw it, I thought it was less than half a penny. So that's probably a good sign. Again, again, and then Sugar Kitty says, if you stress at all, no way you want to be in crypto. Yeah,
that's true.
That's my thing. I was like, you know what? I'll take my losses and not try to make a profit as long as it doesn't cause me as much stress. Because again, I hate watching. I'm like, no, I'm out. Not to say I don't invest, but when it's things like that are so volatile, it's just not for me.
Well, and you got to look at it as like it should only be like 5-10% of your actual portfolio.
Sure.
So like if it's like the tail end of your portfolio, then you don't stress about it as much as hopefully what the point of it is.
Yeah. Well, I will say this Weller Foolproof, man, every time I go back to it, I love it more and more. I mean, I've had a few different ones, not on my own. I have some very generous friends out here in Southern California. We actually had a meetup, which it sounds like we have so much money. We don't. We had a meetup where we all brought like Weller Foolproofs. We had like literally like 7 of them, just trying them, comparing and finding the best pick. And this was one of my favorites. I'm really glad. That's why I've been very slowly drinking this bottle. But really, I mean, what they did with that, I wish there was more of it. You know, that's always the case with Buffalo Trace. Although to be fair, like Weller 107, like that's pretty good too. So, I mean, how is distribution out in your area in Arizona? I know I stopped at a liquor store in Arizona. I drove to the Grand Canyon for over Christmas because we had to cancel I'm actually from South Carolina. We had to cancel our travel home because we didn't want to fly, and we have older family members and stuff like that. So we were like, you know what? It's just us. We're just going to drive to the Grand Canyon because why not? So we drove through Arizona. We went to this little liquor store. What is the town right outside of between, you know, Vegas and Grand Canyon in Arizona? What is it? It's like,
Not there's a lot of like
it was I'm
like
gonna look it up now.
Towns up there in that area. There.
Yeah, I gotta find it now because it was the smallest little town. It's like, you know what? I bet they got some good selections in their liquor store. Let me. I'm literally just scrolling right now. I'm like, where was this?
I'll be curious what you come up with over there.
Oh yeah, it was near Kingman, I think.
Kingman, okay, Kingman.
Yeah, so I think that was probably. Honestly, probably. It was a small like little town. Like I felt so out of place because I went to this liquor store. And I literally felt like the only one that wasn't a local there. It was crazy. It was such a tiny place, but they didn't have any they did have some rare bottles, but I assume they were probably gonna charge way too much for it. But they did have a George Remus, which I've never seen out here in Southern California. One of the Repeal Reserves, which actually again MGP George Remus is an MGP brand. They had batch 3 and I'd only tried batch 4, so I'm like, it was like $55. I was like, hell yeah. So I consider that win. Not necessarily the best score, but you got to check your small stores. That's what I recommend.
You do. I'm not the bourbon hunter guy. I'm the internet guy. I'm the it ships from California to Arizona at my doorstep or whatever.
Gotcha.
But Arizona, it's probably like any other state. We don't get enough allocation. There's you're not going to get the allocated bourbon unless you're either have a heads up or you're at Costco, at the right time.
Oh man, the Costco drops are the worst because it's like they have to have an insider. Because I hear about those and I hear people are lining up at Costco and that never happens. No one lines up at Costco before they open, but it's always when they have the drops of the really rare stuff. And
yeah, and I'm I don't know, I'm too old for that. Like,
and honestly, I really don't see. I honestly don't. I spend more money buying. I spend more money buying the rare beats of the world. That's exactly what I was about to say.
Anywhere. Yeah.
Well, awesome. Well, I guess, is there any, last comments, anything else you want to say about the Roses for Kid charity or anything you guys have coming up after that? Now's the time to give a shout out, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know. I would say, I guess, to a lot of you guys that are listening, hopefully you like what you're hearing. Hopefully you just follow us. We're not trying to get you to donate this second, but follow along our journey, see what we're up to, see what we're about, see our dedication to become 100% public donation charity. We're determined we're going to get there seriously in probably in the next 6 months.
Oh, awesome.
We just look forward to doing as much good as possible and having this community take this charity to new heights and do as much good as possible. So it'll be a fun ride for sure.
I mean, the community. I've seen the other channels that help promote it in the past. I'm like, you're in good company. You're really well connected, I would say, in the whiskey community. And having someone like Wild Turkey again being the sponsor for the event is really, really cool. So, like you said, if you guys want to follow them, their name is down there. Follow them at Bourbon Charity. They're on Facebook. They're on Instagram. Y'all are probably pretty much everywhere. That's just where I've seen you guys. But awesome. Well, again, thank you so much, Brandon. Like I said, if you guys are just now tuning in, the link is down below. You can get 100 bonus tickets to the raffle if you click it and donate using that link. I'm going to be donating right after this stream. But again, Brandon, thank you so much for joining us. I mean, this is really cool. I'm really excited for what you guys are doing with this.
Thank you so much, Clifton. I appreciate you so much for having me on and just taking the time of your day to talk charity with me.
Awesome. Well, for those of you in the chat that are patrons, we're going to do the after party hangout right after this. So y'all head to the Discord. If you're not on the Discord, anyone, just go to bourbonbites.com. You can become a member. You don't have to be a patron. You can just hang out there and just chill with us and chat video games and whiskey. Well, thank you so much, Brandon. And until next time, this has been Bourbon Bites. Cheers, you guys.
Cheers, guys.